Overall, though, I have OG's draft. It just synergizes much more than Kingdra's. I mean, Kingdra's does have potential, but riding on a core Naga, it's not something you see too often now. And we're gonna see how it works out, though. Like, there is potential. We just have to see how it rolls out here, though.
Yeah, we shouldn't doubt anything, and we won't. We'll wait till we see what pans out of this. But let's call out the players in the draft. So we do have Fly. He will be on that Disruptor. Of course, Resolution will be on that CK. Jerax on that Signature Earth Spirit. The Tiny will be played by S4 again. And finally, we do have Big Daddy No Tail, and he'll be on that Death Prophet. And John, if you could please call out Kingdra.
Alright, on Kingdra's side for the Dire, we have Jabs on that Rubik. We have Charlie playing that Lifestealer once again. The Viper being played by Cancel. Biryu on that Ancient Apparition. And Bambo on that Naga Siren.
It looks like they will actually try to go for a quick kill attempt, but the smoke is already broken and OG are aware of what's going on. At the very least, they'll secure their 2 runes from the side of Kingdra and get a few wards out there, but they will not be able to find the kill that they wanted early. In fact, they might be able to find 3 runes, assuming Jerax doesn't go for the top one with Fly. Because the Lifesteal is still not easy to go up against even this early. Fly. Just get him out of the bounty runes range. In fact, no, Charlie will go in for this. They will roll in and try to make something happen, and Jerax did get the bounty. Can they deal enough damage to Charlie? He will rage away, and that is not the first ability he wanted. So they do force out a skill to be leveled up that he really didn't want to level up at level 1. So it is a bit of a win, and they also commit essentially a salve onto Charlie to heal him back up for this laning stage.
Yeah, that's a lot of resources wasted very early on. It means Charlie's probably not going to have an enjoyable level 1 matchup right now.
Let's see how it goes. Like Charlie. He's going to be up against Resolution in this offlane. Fly will be there as well. It's not going to make it easy on Charlie to try and find some farm here, because CK hits very, very hard. Biryu will try to help out, but there's only so much he can do even. Meanwhile, Jerax will be there with Big Daddy No Tail against Cancel in the mid lane. And the bot lane, they are actually going on the Naga right now. Bambo is trying to actually pull the wave, and will do so successfully for the time being. S4 will be left with these 2 creeps. In fact, he will pull them her way, and hopefully, for his sake, get some nice creep equilibrium going his way. And he does. So Bambo couldn't really pull them all the way he wanted to, but he still has essentially got a double wave, which will push all the way to his tier 1. Mid lane, meanwhile, Cancel is in a bit of trouble. Jerax is still there, although no roll available. Now a nice lift coming out from Jabs. And they might actually find the kill here. No Tail, he's got no Spirit Siphons left. He will end up dropping. Biryu with that level 1 chilling touch does deal a hell of a lot of damage. And it does get the job done. So a nice rotation from Kingdra.
Yeah, it's a good little start for Cancel on this Viper. And slowing down that DP is pretty crucial. Once that DP is 6, it's going to be a hard time. She will be trying to force team fights and get the push going.
Like Rezo will say hello to Charlie. Nice little 2-second stun for him as well. But Biryu will join in and try to help out. The Fly is also around the area. Again, you just really saw it there, but a CK always beats out against a Lifestealer 1v1. But Biryu will get rolled on. Now the 2-second stun as well. Nice lift coming out, but Biryu will end up dropping through all this. Jabs might try to find a return onto Jerax, but now Charlie's in trouble. He does rage up and slows down Rezo, and this might be enough, and the Rift is not available, but there's the roll in again. Jerax just in time, and he gets away from it as well. And this is why you do not give Jerax an Earth Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, he is doing so much work in this early game. Just securing those kills for Resolution and turning that fight. I mean, it's pretty good. It's a good start. It's a good thing to have your CK to start up this well. I mean, we've seen Resolution play from behind a lot now, but on this kind of hero, you definitely want to start ahead. So you're giving him the start he wants, which his hero does need.
Well, looks like Jerax ends up denying himself to some neutral creeps. It was very low, so there's no real point in wasting time walking back. Charlie. Still finding farm remarkably, even though the lane is terrible for him. He's doing a fairly good job. Again, Buryu will stick around, but early levels like AA, he can't really do much to help defend his carry. And it looks like Jerax will TP in again behind the trees and get ready to roll whenever he can. In fact, they'll go try and probably fight over this bounty rune. Charlie. They get rolled on. The bounty has been stolen as well. And now they're going to deal a hell of a lot of damage. Chilling Touch is there. Now Charlie wants to turn around, but the Boulder Smash is nice, though. The Rage comes in. Jerax, he might finally drop to this. Stun comes out, and it's a 3-second from Rezo. The Fade Bolt does not take down Jerax, and he denies himself to the neutrals. Now Charlie, he tries to do the same. Can he? He thinks about it. In fact, he runs off. He decides not to. The stun, though, will connect, and it does deal enough damage. A bit of hesitation coming out from Charlie. Jerax does get the job done, whereas Charlie, he wanted to maybe get a bit greedy and run out of there successfully. But unfortunately for him, the stun was available for resolution.
Yeah, I mean, CK deals a lot of damage early on, and it's very hard for Lifestealer to really sustain here. For him to do that, he'd have to invest more points into Rage, which early on, I'm not sure if that's really what you want on your Lifestealer, really, in these early levels.
Yeah, it's not good news. Are they TPing again? Looks like it is only Rezo and Fly for the time being. Jerax, he'll be in the mid lane. He might have a go at cancel. But that Viper is a very, very hard kill to get. They will actually find jabs on that Rubik, and the roll did miss, but Jerax is there with the Orb of Venom. But they will not continue the chase. Meanwhile, one thing we haven't really talked about is Bambo is farming very well at that bot lane. I mean, mind you, S4 is farming slightly better, but you don't really want to give Naga too much farm. And it looks like top lane is where the action is. Charlie again gets rolled on. Jerax will just immediately TP, and that's some style points right there. Where the hell's he gone? He's gone straight to mid. Jabs, he'll be the target. Big Daddy No Tail, he will find the kill. Who the hell does that? He rolls in, and then he TPs immediately straight to the mid lane. I mean, what kind of reflexes do you need to get that happening?
Yeah, it's a lot of confidence as well. I mean, he was assured that that kill on Charlie was going to happen anyway. So he opts to go down mid and help secure that kill. And now he's going to make a move on Bambo, but doesn't look like it. Just grabs the rune and backs off.
Well, he does have a haste. Bambo, he won't die to this. He does have the song available, but comes a bit of harass.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It was really some like Usain Bolt kind of stuff happening right there with Jerax. You know, like you're about to hit the finish line, but you're so far ahead that you just smile to the camera and wave. Essentially exactly what happened. He just took a selfie of himself as he rolled in. Bambo. Again, he's still farming very well in this Naga. The question is, what will they give him? And he is going for the Radiance build. So this is pure core Naga, like the really annoying kind that's going to be split pushing every 2 seconds. But it can be very effective, nevertheless.
This is coming at the cost of Charlie's farm, though. Like, Charlie's a full 2 levels behind. He's not having fun in this top lane, and they're making a move on him again.
Well, Rezo is going to be the target, and it looks like he might drop, although here comes Jerax. He does roll into jabs. Rezo still alive through all this. He has an armlet, I believe, and he does end up going down. In fact, no, that wasn't an armlet. That was just the animation. Jerax will also drop. So a nice 2 kills and a nice rotation from Kingdra. But I believe they rotated all their heroes for that. Still well worth it, it feels like. But at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, you have to rotate your whole team for those 2 kills. It's just, it really shows you how far ahead the side of OG are getting.
Yeah, it really does show that. And while all of that was happening, Cancel did drop to mid up against No-Tail's DP, so a bit of a loss there. I mean, the Viper is a hero that really doesn't require too much farm. At the same time, it does want to dominate the lane, and it hasn't been happening for Cancel just yet.
Jerax will get caught out this time around, and they will finally find this man and get a kill. Does kick a rock to them, but not gonna be that effective. Meanwhile, bot lane though, Exorcism has been committed by N0tail. S4 is also there. It should be pretty much a free tier 1 tower. Another thing we always talk about with the Death Prophet is once you've hit that level 6 or 7 mark, you always want to try and get out there and make that Exorcism, you know, put it to use, get an objective out of it, and essentially put it back on cooldown. Because you don't really want to go for, you know, early team fights on a Death Prophet. You just want to get a tower or two and essentially help that economy that your team needs, and they do so successfully.
Yeah, definitely. You always want your Exorcism kind of off cooldown. I mean, you always want to make sure that you use it every time it's off cooldown, so popping it to take that T1 bot is pretty good, and it forces Charlie to just kind of switch lanes now. He is going to be up against S4 and Tiny, which I feel like it's a better matchup, but he's a full 2 levels behind, so it's still going to be a rough time for him.
Yeah, S4 is hitting pretty hard now. And again, like, you're going to have to pretty much be spamming that rage button. Mind you, is level 3 now. Really shows you like how much hell that Charlie's been through in this top lane. I have to go max rage immediately. Bambo, how's he going with that radiance? I mean, he's doing decently. Obviously, it's not the prime option for a Naga Siren to have to go farm the jungle at the 10-minute mark, but it does feel like that's what he has to do to try and get that going. Even then, if he can't get a free lane to farm, it feels like it's going to be a slow radiance.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that, and as a Naga core, you want a fairly decent timing on your Radiance. I guess if Bamboo does find it by maybe at most 20 minutes, that's still a pretty good timing for him, although not ideal.
Well, they do get a nice kill onto S4 at the bot lane, so Charlie, he finds himself a bit of farm. In fact, it was Jabs that got the last hit on the Tiny. But still, a very nice kill for the side of Kingdra. Looks like Bambo is forced to use his song, and now Fly is looking for him. Will he get in time? No, he will not. The fog was there. Rather, they are going to take the tier 1 top, but they will trade this for the tier 1 bot tower. Looks like Rezo will stick around to take care of this. Meanwhile, Jerax is looking for this Viper again, but they are all bot lane. But it appears they are going to be happy with this trade. And I think, honestly, Kingdra's probably going to be a bit more happy. Like, they should not be getting these tier 1 towers. And in fact, S4, excuse the camera work, S4 finds Buryu at the bot lane quite quickly. And this forces them to TP out, but the Boulder Smash again from Jerax. Cancel will be forced to walk back instead. And that's one of those little things, like, you're not really going to go in for a kill, but just force them to waste that time. Now the mid lane will be the target. N0tail has committed the Exorcism. He's getting very, very low. But it does look like they will back off. N0tail is very low in HP as well. Doesn't make it too easy to go for it. I mean, do you think that Bambo, like the radiance that he's going for, do you think that's that's really the core item he needs right now on that Naga?
I mean, a lot more still has to come out besides the Radiance. But once that's up, at the very least, they can pressure the side lanes without committing too much. So once that's up, they should be able to get decent control in the lanes, keeping it pushed out in their favor. But it's still going to be a while until that's up, so until then, it almost feels like Kingdra definitely needs to play something like a 4 protect 1 and just buy time for Bamboo, farm up that Radiance, and hopefully it pays off. His farm will escalate once that's up, but until then, they really have to just kind of buy time for him to get the space he needs.
Well, the thing is as well, Charlie's been forced to go for a Midas build. And actually, bot lane cancel. He's about to get caught out right now. S4 and Fly are there, and they will go for it. They will even commit the Static Storm for this. That Viper kill is pretty big, and it's well worth it. And we'll find it as well. Like I was mentioning before that kill, I mean, this lifestealer, he's been forced to go Midas. Like, the start Charlie had last game was pretty darn good. This game around, though, to have to go that item timing, it seems like they really want to drag this out till late.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that. They gave him the short end of the stick in the laning phase as well. They gave Bamboo the 1v1 versus S4 Tiny, which is probably much better for the lifestealer to deal with.
Well, they're going to find another kill onto Fly.
Dire's bottom tower is under
So Kingdra are evening up the scoreboard at least a bit. Of course, again, this gold injection that they're finding from these heroes does add up quite a lot. We look to Resolution. He's got the drums up now, as well as the treads on the Soul Ring. And it looks like he is just going to go straight into the Manta. He appears not to be interested at all in an armlet, unless it is on the Courier. And it is not. So this will be this won't be an armlet, CK, but rather straight into a Manta. I mean, you can't blame him though, right? Like it's like he's so far ahead, he just may not even need the armlet at this point.
Yeah, not only that, but if he does get hit by the AA ult, it's kind of negated anyway.
Yeah.
So going for that Manta is much more useful as well, because he gets to get out of the Naga route, get out of all the control that Kingdra has, and it will let him do a lot more work in the team fights.
That's a very good point. Charlie. Jerax wants to roll on, but there's not really enough heroes here to help out. The side of Kingdra are around the area. Dabs may have just shown himself, and they'll make the jump on him instead. Fly immediately there. They do lift him up. The glimpse is available, and they'll bring him back. Static Storm committed just for this Rubik, but it may be well worth it considering they got a T1 anyway. Essentially, it's like they just don't want to risk anything. It's like, just get rid of him, take the tier 1, and with Static Storm, I mean, it's going to be up again in 80 seconds, so who the hell cares, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a worthwhile pick-off. They do secure that tier 1, and maybe do a little chip damage to the tier 2, but it doesn't look like they're too interested in that. They're just going to farm up on the Dire jungle and clear what camps they can find.
Well, it looks like they did find an illusion of Bambo, but that's not going to be too effective. Looks like they will also find, who is that? The Rubik again. It did TP in. Charlie is moving forward. It looks like they want Jerax at the least, and they probably will find him. He tries to roll out, but a nice little block coming up from Bambo. They do get the position for Earth Spirit. Meanwhile, a man we haven't talked about much, S4. He's just been farming quite a lot, and he does have the drums Blink Dagger, and I suppose this is the point where he'll want to make a move. But he's been very patient, and really just not interested at all in fighting throughout this whole game right now.
Yeah, they've really left S4 basically alone. I mean, it's kind of interesting, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like they really need to stick with him anyway. It looks like Kindra's not interested in going up against S4. They look to be prioritizing shutting down No Tail and Resolution much more, which is fair enough. I mean, a CK that gets a good start is definitely terrifying, and Resolution is going to have that good start. His Manta style is almost done. He's been getting a lot done on the map in these team fights, so once that's up, he's going to be much more, chaotic.
I mean, all the cores of OG right now are getting the items they need, as well as the levels. Charlie, we move back to him. I mean, he just got his treads now. Not sure what he's really going to aim for as the itemization. You look to Bambo as well. He just got his Sacred Relic, so it's not the worst timing in the world. His Radiance is actually going to be pretty decent. It looks like he might come out at the 18 or 19 minute mark. And that's where maybe Kingdra will be able to slow this down a bit. Looks like they'll go for a gank attempt as well.
Dire are scanning.
Bro, they know Fly's around in the mid lane. They will make a run for it, but Fly immediately backs off. And while this is happening, the tier 2 top is being taken by double damage Tiny.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It will be a TP from Charlie, but even then, I don't know if he can really take S4 right now.
Radiant's middle
S4
tower
will wait
is under
patiently for his chance to jump in. It looks like Rezo is also around the area. In fact, no, he wasn't, but he will be rotating up. Charlie, maybe baiting for his team. There is a smoke attempt coming in from Kingdra. This could be their chance. They find Jerax immediately. The lift back. The Boulder Smash is decent. He rolls out as well. Who are they going to decide to go on? The Static Storm is onto the Viper. And meanwhile, Rezo takes down Buryu and Jabs, and No Tail actually gets cancelled as well. So immediately 3 gone for the side of Kingdra. They're going to go straight into that Roche Pit with that Exorcism. And again, it's like they're focusing so much attention on this Earth Spirit. Like, it's always the first one they see, right? But he always somehow manages to get out.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy kill, especially if they can't block his roll. And he just basically just rolls out. It's very easy for him to get out there.
Double avalanche, and they will toss back Bamboo, and now the song is there. You're gonna make the TP. No, the glimpse is there immediately from Fly. Now, can they cancel it before he goes? No, yes, they can. The Yules was available. And Bamboo, he does end up dropping, and he was so close to that Radiance as well. And now S4, he'll find the Ancient Apparition. Buryu is also gone. And this is very surgical coming out from the Radiant end. Just taking their time, doing everything right, not making any mistakes. The 7k net worth lead at the 18-minute mark is pretty darn good. They're going to go through the mid lane as well as the top lane. The thing is as well, with the CK, with those Phantasm and Manta illusions, you can pretty much take towers by yourself and leave the rest of your team to take another one. That's exactly what they're going to do. Looks like Jerax again playing around with the side of Kingdra. They will end up finding him. Can they get the lift? Jabs so close yet so far. And even then, OG just waiting on the uphill right now for their next opportunity. The tier 2 top did end up dropping. And now it looks like they'll go straight for the tier 2 mid. I mean, why the hell not when you're this far ahead? Can't really blame them. They've got the Radiance available on Bambo, so this could be a nice little item reveal for them if they are willing to take a team fight, but the tier 2's already gone. Meanwhile, Jerax has already scouted out where Charlie is, as well as Jabs. Jabs will make a TP out, and will do so successfully. And it looks like the only tier 2 left, so right now, is the bot tower for Kingdra.
Yeah, they've definitely lost a lot more in map control, and they haven't managed to pressure OG's towers as much as well. I mean, the top T1 for OG is pretty healthy. The mid T1 is still up, although it's not looking as healthy, but you know, the fact that it's still there is pretty much enough to ensure that map control on that part of the map. So it's a rather rough time for Kingdra. The Radiance coming out from Bamboo should be a nice little injection for them, as he can pressure all the lanes now, so losing those towers won't mean too much. I mean, it's still bad, but he can push out the waves quite nicely with his illusions now, so they can kind of stave off that pressure just a bit.
Thing is, they did nerf the damage Radiance deals with those illusions, right? It really doesn't deal that much anymore, which is very problematic for these Naga Sirens that go for this build. I believe, if I remember correctly, it's only really doing 20 damage per second with the illusions, so although he still has a split push, it's not as great as it used to be, right?
Yeah, definitely so. It's not as strong as it used to be, but that's really what they're banking on now. It's just trying to get that side lane pressure alleviated with the Naga Siren. Buy time for their cores to build up a bit more and try to get something going from that added control.
I mean, it's still effective in that sense. Like they like you mentioned, they still do manage to split push out of it. It's just not. You question how worthwhile it is, but considering the situation they're in, it makes sense. Because Charlie, he just picked up his armlet. He's trying to finish that Sange and Yasha, and he just picks up the Sange. But now their tier 3 is under attack, and the question is raised as to how they defend this. The Exorcism already dealing a hell of a lot of damage. Phantasm also available. Charlie will go on to Rezo, but he'll just turn around and go straight on to cancel. The song has been committed, and Rezo is a bad position as well as S4. Tier 3 is gone. Ice Blast completely missed. It was silenced actually. Jerax again in the back lines, making it happen. Now Charlie will be the target, and he's going to drop the Spirit Siphon as well. No, he raiders up. He's trying to fight this the best he can, but it doesn't look like he really can. They will find the bot Rax. And that Ice Blast, it was Jerax silencing up the AA, so he couldn't actually, you know, aim that precisely. The melee Rax is gone, and that's really all they wanted. No creeps left to take down the range. Doesn't really matter for the side of OG, it feels. And they'll get started on probably the mid tower now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great play from Jerax, silencing up the AA before he could launch the blast. Although, I'm not sure how much of a difference it would have made. It feels like Kingdra definitely lacks a bit in the damage department right now, so even with that blast, I'm not sure if it would change the outcome of that fight.
Well, we're sitting at a 14k net worth lead for OG 23 minutes in. I mean, it's a pretty darn big lead. They will smoke up here from Kingdra. Maybe find themselves a pick-off. It could mean all the difference, and the first person they're going to run into is Resolution. In fact, no, they'll run the other way. And it looks like they might even just give up on this gank. Charlie continuing to farm while all this is happening. Getting relatively close to that Sanjin Yasha. OG though, grouped up again. It looks like they may go for a gank, or at the very least a push attempt. Rezo. Has he got that, he hasn't got the Phantasm yet, but it's up for 30 seconds. It's up in 30 seconds. Roshan, still not really close to respawning. It's about 2.5 minutes before we do find out when it will respawn. Looks like the top tower will be the target. Derax now, he has a Blink Dagger available as well. So that initiation's always going to be there for him. And it just shows you how good of a game they're having on the Radiant end. That they can afford these kind of items on their position 4s and 5s. Even Fly, like, I mean, I know it's 24 minutes, but even he has Arcane and Glimmer Cape right now.
Yeah, I mean, the side of OG has pretty good farm distribution. Even the supports are getting a nice little bit of a boost from all the pressure they're applying, and it comes down to how many objectives they take, and that's a lot of gold getting injected to every single hero, and the supports definitely benefit the most out of all these objectives taken, so they get to have a little bit more to play with, which helps them really do their job in the team fights. Right now, Kingdra, their backs are against wall, and I'm really not sure what they should try to do. They're trying their best. They are sending illusions out, trying to cut the wave, alleviate that pressure, and they have been buying a decent amount of time. And looks like they're actually going on the offensive now.
Well, they've infested the Rubik. Not the best target to infest, but then again, they don't really have anyone else. Because the Rubik does have a blink at the least, so Jabs is going to have to be the frontline initiator apparently. Top Shrine will end up dropping. Looks like all the ultimates are up for the side of OG now, so it's probably a matter of like waiting for a mistake to be made for Kingdra, but at the same time, I believe Kingdra is waiting for the same thing. And again, Bambo is pushing out. He is doing the best he can, and he is doing it successfully at that. Although they might just find Charlie. The silence is there, but no stun comes out, but the glimpse is available. He does rage. That would have been a pretty massive kill had they found it. Charlie also does not have buyback available. Aeon Disc is actually picked up by No Tail now. And it looks like they're going to start to go in. The exorcism has been committed. They're tired of waiting for this. They will find Buryu, and he's just gone. Now the glimpse as well as the static storm. It is onto Charlie. He's stuck in the middle of all this. Boulder Smash, the sleep is there, but it's caught everyone with the Boulder Smash. And now they turn this around. No Tail is siphoning every single person right now. They lift him up. He's gone all the way to the fountain. There's the Aeon Disc kicking in. The break. We'll get rid of it. But ultimately, they've just bought enough time, and that's going to be the second racks going down, and I don't think they're going to stop. Rezo already in the mid. Charlie. They were thinking about stunning him up. He does rage up, and he's going to go straight after Rezo. This is pretty much the last chance they have. Kinetic Field has been dropped. Now the Ice Blast is good. In fact, it will only go into 2. Nice Boulder Smash, as well as the Silence and Magnetize from Jerax again. They're all silenced up. The Magnetize is still going. Can they find any kills? They do get the Earth Spirit at the least. And now they get the CK and Tiny. So S4 is gone as well. Kingdra are pulling it back their way. Big Daddy No Tail, he'll be the next target. And they've actually dropped 4. It looked so bad for them the whole time, but apparently they waited patiently enough. And they were able to deal enough damage without even their lifestealer available.
Yeah, that's a really good turnaround from Kingdra, and that gives them a nice little injection of gold. They did lose the top set of racks though, but they managed to stave off the last final racks from being taken. so they still have that going for them. Right now the real deal for Kingdra is to try to build some, try to get their Naga up to be even bigger. Bambo is going for the Boots of Travel, so that global presence will be there to split push. But beyond that, they definitely need a lot more to be up on Bambo and Charlie. They definitely, quite a lot actually, like the Naga after, going for the Octarine after Travels, which is pretty much standard. It's, again, there's a reason why the Naga core has kind of tapered off, but if they get it big enough, it can still do some decent amount of work.
Well, it does look like they lost about 3k net worth from the side of OG just from that one team fight. That is great for the economy of Kingdra. Although Resolution, he has a full heart available. That's going to be problematic. He's got 3.8k HP sitting there. He's going straight for that MKB next. Looks like there is a nice smoke coming out from the side of Kingdra. Can they get the initiation they need though with just a Rubik Blink? They do find Fly, he Glimmer Capes immediately and now he'll break it. Cancel will go in immediately, but S4, the Static Storm, they will connect straight onto the Viper and want to take him out. Spirit Siphons have started as well as the Exorcism. And it looks like the Viper will end up dropping and the sleep is a bit too late. Everyone is so healthy on the side of OG. Apart from Fly who's dead at the moment. They did want jabs. Jerax trying to find another. He'll find Buryu, but he'll force staff the other way, and they'll just turn their attention to Roshan now. Exorcism doesn't have that much time left, but it will be enough time to deal with a substantial amount of damage. Although, Kingdra are ready to reinitiate, and they are going straight up to Charlie now. Nice rage coming out. Rezo will get started. The Phantasm is still being held. Now the Avalanche and the Rift comes in. The silence is good, and they will take him out. Now the Rubik is the only one left. Jabs, he's going to get taken out too. It wasn't the, I mean, it was a good attempt, I suppose, at baiting the OG side out of the Roche pit, but it kind of felt like they threw their lives away there.
Yeah, they definitely did. I guess they're just trying to hope that they'd stream out one by one. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and, well, now Charlie's gone with no buyback, and that should be a lot of pressure coming onto their mid lane.
Well, this is practically the last racks left. I mean, they still have a range racks at the bot lane, but it's fairly easy pickings for the OG end. We'll begin. The break was there from Cancel. With that Phantasm, and now Jerax goes in, finds a double stun, and they will go straight into Cancel. The Rift is there. Now the 4-second as well. Glimmer Cape does end up going on, but the Avalanche holds him in place, and they will find the kill. Now Charlie going to try and fight for his team. He does rage, but there's nobody to aim for that he can really take down. And this mid-rax is gone. Looks like Bambo will join in as well. No song available for 10 seconds, though. They're just trying to take down Resolution. He has the Aegis, I believe. Now the Ice Blast comes in. They'll find S4 and Rezo, but Rezo will respawn. And now again, the Kingdra cores are all gone. They call GG War played. There's just, it felt like there was nothing they could do. Like it wasn't really an outdraft or anything like that, but more so they couldn't find the farm in the early stages of the game on the Lifestealer. Again, the Viper generally does drop off around this mark. And ultimately, OG just took over and took a very convincing game for themselves.
Absolutely. I mean, Kingdra, unfortunately, didn't get the start they wanted. The lane